The newest of the new has finally arrived in North America, except it's not really the newest. That stuff's still in Korea. But whatever, we've got a brand new character to judge. Luciel was released here on July 1st, 6.5 months after his or her debut in Korea. I'll be honest, I feel like there's not as much hype as there's been around previous characters like Ad, but it was still enough to obliterate every single Ruben channel on release day, to the extent that some Luciels were playing in the Sander channels and forgoing the bonus XP just so they could play with less lag. With that said, I'm very conflicted about this character. I enjoy one of them while absolutely loathing the other. So let's see if by the conclusion of this video you can figure out which one I like and which one I hate. Luciel is the first dual character in Elsword. What in the farthest reaches of Elrios does that mean? It means that when you create a Luciel, you actually create two characters, Lu and Ciel, who share armor, HP, level, and sort of share the spotlight. But it means that you can switch between them using combos and skills to tag in your partner and utilize their vastly different movesets. While Ciel is agile, nimble, and capable of ranged shots, Lu is a bit slower, stronger, and utilizes demonic magic to get her way. Oh right, I forgot to mention. Lu is a demon and Ciel is a half-demon assassin who's the contracted servant of Lu because she brought him back from the dead after he gave his life to save her while ironically being attacked by very powerful demons. Got all that? Good, there'll be a quiz at the end of the video.
Come on.
Their duality is a neat mechanic, though it feels a bit more gimmicky than anything. Both characters play well enough by themselves that it feels quite unnecessary, though I suppose it helps to permit players to switch playstyles effectively. They suddenly go from mobbing to bossing, for example. As a result of being a dual character, Luciel has an exclusive system called switching, which allows you to switch between Lu and Ciel. Surprise, surprise. When not in combat, you can switch by clicking their character in the equipment menu, and there's a so far Korea exclusive ability to switch between them by pressing the V key. However, it is a better idea to trigger it through use of their combos and skills, which allows you to fill their combination gauge. This gauge allows you to perform certain skills, such as Soul Infest and Nether Shredder, when it is completely full. Those kind of skills cannot be used with MP, but instead require this gauge to be completely full. It's not too hard to do, and in fields and dungeons you can get plenty enough downtime to pull off some combos that let you fill up the gauge. In that same vein, Lu and Ciel also do not share MP, so whoever is not being used at the time gets boosted regen while they wait for their turn. With the introduction set in stone, let's dive into the specifics and figure out exactly what this character has to offer. Since each of Lu and Ciel have their own rendition of each combo, I'll be talking about each one separately for every combo that I list. ZZZZX. For Lu, the first four moves in this combo are fairly simple slashes of her claws, which outpower Ciel's combo significantly. The fourth hit specifically launches enemies into the air, but should you choose to extend the combo into the fifth hit with the X button, you switch out for Ciel, who kicks the launched enemies and keeps one of them from getting knocked down, but not necessarily more than one. For Ciel, the first three moves in this combo are reminiscent of Blademaster style and lets him perform three quick, elegant slashes of his sword. You can extend the combo to a fourth hit, which executes a quick kick into the air and a shot to his airborne victim. Lastly, performing the final tap of the X button switches to Lu, who blasts any airborne targets with an energy kick and prevents them from getting knocked down. Both combos are similar and allow you to propel yourself significantly forward and take on groups of enemies effectively. Having the character switch executed as the final move of this combo also makes it useful for filling the combination gauge, so getting used to this effective combo is a must. XXXX. For Lu, honestly, I would expect this move from Donkey Kong, not Lu. It's just a series of demonic claw punches, really. Each strike you perform thrusts Lu forward with her massive claw, dealing some pretty hefty damage, particularly notable since you're super armored for the last two strikes. For Ciel, this move is entirely ranged and doesn't bring Ciel forward much. He does a few ballerina twirls and fouls off a number of shots, each of which consumes MP. It's a pretty simple combo and highly useful for grouped enemies that are just out of your reach or that you don't want to get too close to. This combo is vastly different for each character, but both have their uses. Lu's is a very heavy damage dealer for steamrolling groups, and Ciel's is a good move for keeping you out of harm's way when there's a danger of close-up hits. XXXZX. For Lu, obviously the first three strikes are the same as in the previous combo, but starting from the fourth strike, you have the ability to charge an overhead smash which can be charged up to 600% base damage. After you unleash that, pressing X one more time will unleash a barrage of strikes from Ciel, and though the damage here is minimal, it serves as a nice catching move. For Ciel, the fourth strike is another basic gunshot. It can be charged up to 500% here, and it will bounce off one opponent, two if charged up. And you can choose to switch out for Lu here, who drops in with another wimpy strike. The interesting thing here is that this combo does not appear to knock down at any point, which is pretty handy. Like the first combo, this move is a good one to remember to allow you to switch between Lu and Seal while filling the combination gauge. That is, of course, not to mention the ability to charge the force strike in the combo, which is a pretty cool ability. Jump Z. For Lu, this is just a basic aerial move and probably not one you'll focus on. It's just a basic strike with her claw that does less damage than most of her other basic strikes. For Seal, this move is honestly probably the weakest looking overpowered move I've ever seen. It's just a simple slash down, but it does as much damage as his ground-based Z attack while looking much wimpier. Neither of Lu's nor Seal's moves here are remarkably good, but they both have their utility in various situations. While I wouldn't go out of my way to use these, I guess it's good that they're not needlessly complex or weak. Jump X. For Lu, this move actually does a decent hit, more than a single press of X from the ground. But while it's strong, it does knock down your opponent, so use it sparingly. Yeah, I know, kinda hard when it actually manages to look pretty cool. For Seal, you jump into the air and fire a shot, which moves you back a bit. While you can hit grounded enemies with this move, I'd be more likely to recommend it against flying creatures or those on platforms above you. Lu's move here isn't incredibly useful, but Seal's at least allows him to get hits on enemies that would normally be out of his reach. Dash Z. For Lu, this move is a lot like the fourth strike for ZZZZ combo, though it does a better job of launching enemies up and does almost twice as much damage. More than anything though, this move is pretty handy for getting an enemy into the air to get a good combo started. For Seal, this move is great for getting in the face of your opponent. It lets Seal dash forward very quickly on the ground and kick his target. The damage isn't remarkable, but this move isn't really about the damage. It's about getting up close and personal to deal some real hits. Even though you can deal decent damage with the Lu's version, this move is generally more useful for setting up combos rather than doing significant damage. Dash X. For Lu, this move is really neat and useful. Lu dashes at her enemy, does a jump with a small kick, then launches over her enemy and smashes into the ground. Though physically it wouldn't permit such things, this little jump allows you to actually get through your enemy and on the other side. For Seal, as you perform this move, you do a quick tuck roll and fire shots backward through your opponent. It's quick, effective, and like Lu's combo, gets you over to the other side of your enemy. I really can't recommend this combo enough for either character. The ability to get on the other side of your opponent is invaluable in numerous situations, and the fact that both combos do a good bit of damage as well is a nice bonus. Jump Dash ZX. For Lu, this move includes yet another Demon Claw swipe, but that's not all. After she finishes her strike, she fires a mana projectile which does significant damage. Like Seal's Jump X, this move is good for hitting things higher up than you, like those flying jerk-offs in later stages. For Seal, this move allows him to perform an upward slash, then a downward slash as he throws out 2 little mana grenades. While I don't find this move particularly effective just by itself, it does well in chaining between combos and skills and even getting strikes on an opponent who won't stay still. Including projectiles for characters is good, especially for Lu, who generally uses maneuverability instead of firing shots out. These two combos are really useful for getting in hits on moving or out of reach enemies, though I'm not really sure Seal needs this move considering the other combos at his disposal. Jump Dash XXXXZ. For Lu, this is the most involved combo I think I've ever seen. Every tapped key in the combo does something useful. The very first tap allows you to spring high into the air, which by itself is enough to justify this move's existence. The second tap launches Lu forward at the ground, obliterating her target where it stands. And if that wasn't enough, she performs a solid overhead strike followed by an uppercut. Last, but not least, she can switch out for Seal, who does a triple slash to finish off the target. For Seal, just like Lu, this move is... well, no, it's not as good as Lu's. But it starts out for the same spring pad launch, then lets Seal fire 3 shots diagonally down. But then, out of bloody nowhere, Seal can switch to Lu, who rockets at the ground and decimates everything below. It's a sight to behold. Lu should get a trophy for being the best part of both combos here. Still, they're both useful, not only for giving you an extremely good second jump, but for rocketing from the sky and turning your victim into street pizza. That's right, street pizza. Luciel starts with 2 skills, Triple Shot and Stomp, both of which are 100 MP skills. Triple Shot is a Seal skill, meaning that if you're playing as Lu, you'll switch to Seal to perform the technique, which involves firing 3 shots forward. It's a pretty standard skill and does decent range damage, but aside from being a good skill to start with, it's nothing worth keeping if you have better skills to fill the slots. Stomp, on the other hand, is a technique that switches to Lu, and is a pretty simple move that smashes the ground with decent burst damage. It's a good enough skill to keep as a base Luciel, but again, later on you'll probably find better skills to use. When you finish the painful, arduous journey to reach level 5, you can choose between Strong Strike and Hunting Prey, both of which use 30 MP. Strong Strike is exactly what you'd expect. It's a stronger version of the strikes they already have, but in its defense it does pretty good damage considering its 30 MP usage, and and it also has a low probability to do 1.5 times the damage. Hunting Prey is a quick standard move that lets Lu steamroll forward followed by a quick claw slash. Alternatively, Ciel's version shoots a small buzzsaw forward. It does okay damage, but it's all around a standard move. I mean, what did you expect for 30 MP? As you grow up into a level 10 weakling, you must decide between Flick Shot and Evil Claw, both of which are 200 MP skills. Flick Shot is Bullet Blitz's evil, derpy twin, which fires a small disc of energy that ricochets between enemies, dealing massive damage. Keep in mind though that it does not repeatedly hit one enemy like Bullet Blitz would, so unless it has something else to bounce with, it will just stop. Still, it's a pretty useful skill, but make sure you don't miss the first shot or you'll have wasted all that coolness. Evil Claw, on the other hand, is amazing! Sorry about that. But yeah, it's pretty sweet. It involves Lu summoning a giant claw from the ground to crush her opponents before her. It's powerful and concentrated while still being able to hit multiple mobs. Both of these skills are cool, so it's really up to your personal preference which you take. Your reward at level 15 is 2 auras, the Aura of Darkness or the Aura of Punishment. Aura of Darkness, I find, is not great. I mean, even at its mastery level, you can only get a maximum 15% additional mana recovery. It's okay, but nothing to write home about. Aura of Punishment is just as effective, but instead raises your critical rate and critical damage. I didn't notice it procuring much, but I'm sure it's a handy buff, especially of classes which benefit from heavy critical rates. You also get an opportunity to take the skill Devil's Fire, which has pretty negligible burst damage, but gives either Lu or Ciel 3 orbs of energy surrounding them, which activate and do extra damage when attacking. I find it's pretty handy, but honestly I found that other skills ended up being used more often. And lastly, the final set of skills you get to decide between as a base Luciel consists of Soul Infest and Nether Shredder. Neither skill requires MP, but requires the combination gauge to be full to use. Soul Infest allows you to fire hits all over the screen and take out entire groups of mobs, and hell, it looks really damn cool. But it has a serious defect. If you have low accuracy, missing enough of the burst hits can lead to missing the move entirely, which basically renders it into an all or nothing skill depending on your accuracy and luck. Nether Shredder, on the other hand, traps enemies in chains and lets Lu and Ciel team up to deal a number of repeated strikes, followed by a claw that deals a final strike, knocking enemies flying. It's useful, has a decent hit area, and it's very, very powerful. If you want something a little more predictable and still plenty badass, I'd go with Nether Shredder. I gotta admit, Lu and Ciel look pretty badass together. What's odd is that Lu's weight has never been published, though her height has been. Let's see, she's 4'7", while Ciel is 6'2". I think somebody needs to go back and learn their 2+2s, kids. Anyhow, I rather liked the appearance of both characters. Lu's Demon Claw is astoundingly cool, and though I'm not a fan of the style of her eyes, the blue color used there is also pretty neat. What really gets me here is how much her design has been sexualized, almost as much as Crimson Avengers. I mean, if you want to have a young, pretty demon character, I have no problem with that. But when her sitting animation basically lets you look up there, it's getting a tad toward the edge, guys. Anyway, Ciel design is pretty cool too. His gun blades are styled nicely, and I guess I'm just a sucker for this combination of blues, because I think it looks great in his hairstyle as well. It's nice to see some more mature males in the Elsword canon, and Ciel's no slouch in the appearance area. Top notch, kiddies. The switching mechanic actually doesn't take as long to get used to as I thought it would. The combos actually behave rather similarly between Lu and Ciel despite their different speed and range attributes. While before I played this character I assumed I would probably just pick one and stick to it most of the time, I find that I actually have a hard time doing so. It's much easier and much more natural to switch between them and take advantage of their different strengths throughout combat. I haven't tried them in PvP, so I can't say how much their switching mechanic helps there, but I can tell you that it's frequently helpful in PvE dungeons to use Ciel to clean up groups of mobs, then send in Lu for the big baddies. And really, their skills are generally pretty good. With the exception of a couple like Soul Infest, the skills are predictably useful and apply to a wide group of scenarios, allowing you to use both combos and skills effectively, which is something that can't be said of every character. So, all in all, I'd classify Luciel under the useful category, though perhaps a little too useful. They come off as being able to handle combat in a way that most other characters can't. By adapting to multiple scenarios so well, they overshadow the preceding 9 characters that have to have the player adjust their technique to do well in different kinds of fights, while those who use Luciel can rely more on the character itself to do most of the legwork. Still, it's a neat idea for a character, and I do find that I enjoy playing it. So, did you figure it out? Which one of the two I adore and which one I abhor? Well, the truth is, I think Lu is a great addition to the game. Yes, unfortunately her design is overly sexualized, and this really is a shame. But she's a cool character by concept. She's the only fully demon character, and this is interesting considering the presence of characters like Ran, Karis, and the upcoming Scar in the game. 7 of the 9 characters available before now were human, well, 6.5, so it's a refreshing change. But beyond that, she has a unique playstyle, and as a result of being a demon, she has some really cool effects with her claw. She doesn't mesh perfectly with my playstyle, but I still manage to have a good time playing as her. Her combos are effective and go well with her skills. But what about Seal? He's quick, he's fun, he matches my playstyle well, what could I possibly have against him? Well, you see, there's this eensy-teensy problem that he has absolutely zero originality. Shove Squall Leonhart, Seal Phantom Hive, and Tsuna into a blender and you'll get our Seal. Beyond that, his unoriginality exists within Elsword itself, and I'm not talking borrowing a combo here or there. His XXXX combo is almost identical to Deadly Chaser's, even including the dash jump version. His jump Z slash is straight out of Blade Master's own moveset. His dash Z move? Well, I think Reyna probably trained him to do that. And remember that combo that makes Seal throw grenades? Well, Tactical Trooper is saddened that his grenades aren't good enough for you anymore. And I don't think Veteran Commander's very happy about it either. Not to mention, Seal's dash X combo is basically Deadly Chaser's dual buster skill. But no, I know what you're thinking. Surely his skills are unique to him, right? Well, Flickshot is a Seal skill which is almost identical to Bullet Blitz, another of Deadly Chaser's skills. Seal's version of Hunting Prey is highly reminiscent of Crimson Avenger's Buzzsaw skill too. Even Seal's gameplay style of agile spinning, dodging, and shooting closely resembles aspects of Blade Master, Deadly Chaser, Veteran Commander, and each of Reyna's various jump paths. An argument could even be made that his design and animations are seriously encroaching on Raven's territory. And that's not all. Even combos that don't directly steal from another character end up copying Lu's own combos. Why does Seal exist? Except for his combos that involve Lu, he seems to have absolutely zero unique skills and qualities. Every aspect of him can be found in another character. Was this just a move to give people who already had one of those characters an easier time learning the new one? Or was it because they were legitimately running out of ideas? What I don't get, what I can't understand is why they didn't just stick to Lu. I mean, it's clear she's the focus. She takes the marketing forefront. She's the main character of their backstory, and she seems to be the one meant to attract people into playing the duo. And as I mentioned, she's actually a pretty good character. So that just leaves me wondering, why even add Seal to begin with? But I digress. I simply cannot give you an assessment of the Luciel character, simply because I both love and hate the character at the same time. The upside is that most likely, no matter what your playstyle is, you can probably find some aspect of Lu or Seal that you enjoy. So, in summary, the best recommendation I can give you is to actually get out there and try playing the character and judge it as you see fit. Whew. So, with another character done, we should expect upcoming releases of Lennox Part 2, and shortly thereafter followed by Lu and Seal's first jobs. So, stay tuned folks, things are about to get interesting. But until then, perhaps you want to check out some of my other editorials or Let's Plays. They're plastered all over my face, so feel free to give them a go. And until next time guys, I'll see you later.